And then off we go. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. This is a live stream with live peoples, and also recorded for Ustream and recorded for YouTube. And I'm playing about with colour and art cards. So I've got 3 paintbrushes, putting water with one and 2 colours with another to try and get a bit of a watercolour effect. And I'm actually using pure watercolour pans, so that's what's giving me some really vibrant colours. Some are professional Sennelier and some are the Winsor & Newton. I don't think they're professionals, I think they're student grade, but they're still giving some quite nice colour. So I've got a pinky red and a reddy red, so I'm probably going to go back into this cadmium red. And then the damp brush is picking up some French ultramarine. Just dropping that into there. Oops. And I've actually got a nice puddle on there, but it's the wrong way, so I've missed it. Got to be comfortable when you're painting, and I quite like those little wishy-washy kind of colours. Oh, sorry, Timothy. No, Emma's got a sore throat. She said no voice. She apologises. So I said that if anybody wanted me to do this, because I was doing this earlier and I suddenly had a mental block and I couldn't remember how I did them. So I've just been playing for a little bit. And the dogs decided that they'd like to have a bit of a moment. And the others, they've settled down, but the big one had to go out, and she was telling me she had to go out. It sounded like she was eating me. She wasn't. She was leaping about, and she's quite a tall, long-legged lurcher, so it sounded quite scary. So I let her out on her own with a treat in my hand, because she does anything for food. So I knew she'd come back, and she did. So the other way of doing it is to tease colour in to here. And then that's still quite wet. So you can stroke a nice amount of French ultramarine in the top. And that gives you about the same. You can do it either way you want. And then if you want to kind of just blend that back again, you can put some more red in. Can everybody see that? Can everybody see my own frame? I think I am, hopefully. I'm still working on my little tray. Excuse me, so I really want that the other way around if I can. I don't want to keep putting my hand in front. So I've got red on that one, so again what you can do is, this won't work on a Bible page, this probably won't work on any pages unless it's a proper watercolour colouring book, and then it will. But this will only work on watercolour paper, but I think these are kind of like watercolour art cards, so it's working quite well. And of course, because these are lovely, well pigmented, you're going to get some really nice vivid colours, which is just what I want for here. I love this design. You can do anything you want with it, and it's quite forgiving. I might turn those around the other way, so I've got red here. And French ultramarine at the bottom. was using Cad Red actually. Cad Red is very, very strong. So we can brighten up that little butterfly a bit. So if anybody's got any questions, pop them in caps. Oh, hi mates, Little P, and Eileen. Anybody else I've missed? Thanks for joining me. I just doing a bit of a marathon today, but sometimes you're on a roll, and I used the top for that one, didn't I? That side. You really need quite a bit of water on this, that's why it doesn't work. But it's only a little diddy butterfly, so it's quite forgiving if it needs to be. I think those brushes are probably a little bit big, and then we'll just go in the body. And again, stuck in this, just touching this colour onto here. I've got a bit of a kink on this, I've got a bit of a curl, so I'm just stroking that through and I can go back if I want, really darken that up. So that one's finished, I think. So even though I did that yesterday, and I've just smudged it again, I'm not used to I'm not used to working quite this wet. So I was doing this one earlier, so I'll just clean the brushes out. So thanks for joining me, guys. As I say, I think I'm doing a bit of an epic today. So I'm going to have cobalt blue. And so I'm going to just actually put cobalt blue on here. And then just drop French ultramarine in there. No, you can use the Caran d'Ache like this actually, because that's what happens. You end up with a little puddle. And the ones I showed yesterday had little holes in. I don't think I can open the top. Yes, I did. So I was kind of making colour in the bottom of there and holding them in my hand and then making these colours, and that's how I was colouring them in. Oopsie. And again, if it's drying a little bit, kind of, you want a bit more, just put some, just to really darken that up. You can get a nice blend. Excuse me. So, there's lots of different ways to do it. You can do it with a wet brush and then do that, or you can do this and then drop the purple in, the French ultramarine in, and then it'll go quite naturally. You've just got to be careful to stay in the lines, because wherever the water is, that's where the colour will run. So you can even add just water to it if you want to blend it a bit more, get a more natural look. I think they might look quite boring if they're all kind of blue, because all the butterflies blue. Oopsie. So I'll do these little ones here, and then I'll put some different colours in. So you can do this quite easily with a Caran d'Ache. I'll do one in a minute with Caran d'Ache. You want some vivid colours. I actually want to try and get some quite pale colours, I think, because I'm going to be using them differently. So little P's got her foot up, her knee and her ankle. She's been in the wars. So it's good to sit and stream and watch when you're not well. I'm going to go in with the yellow now. And that will, again, it's a bit of a cheat's way, but if you drop the yellow in, and then get rid of that one. And I'm using alizarin crimson on that one, although there's cad red on there. I think I like cad red best. Just drop a little bit of colour in there. And you've got to be a bit careful with this cad red because it's definitely, it's now turned that orange, so that won't be as bright. But this is the real diddy little one, this one. These are getting a little bit too small now to do this with, but we'll persevere. At least I remembered what colour I was using. That's the main thing. I was having a bit of a panic attack thinking I'd lost my marbles. I mean, this is a dry brush, so you can go back, drive that red back if you want to. It still gives quite a nice little effect. No, Iffy, it's not a recording. It's me again today. So I'm getting a little bit like Get Dodd. Once you get me on, you can't get me off. So I'm going to put dark blue, and I'm going to put red on that one. I usually like to do 3 colours, but I like the red and the blue, so we'll have these again. So we'll have red here, and I'll drop a blue in. I lost 2 recordings today, so Ustream is still not behaving itself. Put that down, it's out of the way then. And you can keep brightening them up as much as you want. You can go back in there, brighten that one up. And because this is pure colour, your colours are extremely vibrant, very vibrant. So even just a drop of water is going to activate that French ultramarine. gone out of the corner, out of the things. This is a little bit big, this one, but I didn't want to knock the red off. Do it again properly this time. Drive that blue back. Has anybody got any questions? Somebody's had some rice pudding. Oh, yum. I like rice pudding. I'm going to seriously think about, excuse me, about my weight. So, because I think my bones might be a bit better. Because when you just sit, you sit and pick, and especially with my daughter's college pack up, anything's fair game. So I'm going to have to rethink this. I think these are a little bit dark, so just darken them up a little bit. But that French ultramarine is quite nice. They are a little bit small, those. I have to admit they are a little bit small. Did you sit watching a recording, Effie, then? Sorry, I don't know why I'm laughing. I've done it before. I was chatting away thinking, why is these people talking about something completely different? Yeah. So you can either do it very vibrant, and I quite like these, but again, I don't think I'm going to get these on that thin paper. The problem is I actually need 2 very fine paintbrushes, because these are really tiny little shapes. So I need my 10-0. I found a 5. Oh, excuse me, I've got a frog in the throat this morning as well. So that's a bit... I've actually got a 10, but I think one of them, the end splits when you... Yeah, this one, it's gone now. When you try and get it to a point, it splits open. So I'm going to cut that off. So I've got a finer one. I do have another one somewhere, but the 10... This is the 5-0, so it's not so bad. And it's dried now, so I'm going to have to wet that a little bit. Again, if you're not happy with it, you can go back in with the pink. Although I think this is Alizarin Crimson, that one. So that one's Alizarin Crimson, and this one's Cad Red. So you can work extremely wet like this. And I haven't done this for a long time, but it's the patch of tiny feet. I wonder what the little rat bag's doing now. Oh, excuse me. To push that about a little bit. Sometimes it's better not to play with it, actually. But I just can't help myself. I just can't help myself. That's quite dull because I must have touched that, so I'll get rid of the paint on there. So thanks for joining me, gang. So just, if anybody else wants to come on, just let me know. I'm just killing time and quite distressed that I couldn't remember how I'd done these. When it was yesterday or the day before, I think it was yesterday, and I could not believe it had been the day before. I normally forget things within a week, but I thought 2 days was a bit much. So there's a few more different colours on there than I would have liked, but never mind. So these are quite small spaces, so we can put some water into there. Just want to tease that. As long as you don't touch the end, which I've just done, you can tease that back. That's going to have just a little bit more red in it, that one. But if you do them like this, nearly everyone's going to be different. So even though you're using the same method, dropping the water is going to be indifferent. And they dry quite nice as well. Oh, thank you, Iffy, thank you. I'm trying to get the original colours that I used, and I can't remember what they were, so I've got the little book, the original book. I should just finish these off and then we can say they're finished. I mean, it's just a practice. Originally they were with Karen Dash, but I'll do that in a second. So that one's finished. Because some of them I will like and some of them I don't like. So because I like that, but I don't like it on there. So I like the pale butterflies, all blues and purples, and I like that one. So this one I quite like the yellow, red and green, and that's got yellow, red and green with purple in, so I'm not sure I quite like that one. But we've got yellow and red on here, so we may as well use this up. And these are just practice ones. I just wanted a little bit of a practice. And again, this is cad red, and I would have probably used would have tried to use oops, put just a touch of that in there. I can bring that back a little bit. So I've managed to bring that back, which is quite good. Thank you, Timothy. Thank you. I do like these colours. So I think we're going to have a yellow and red butterfly. And if you're very quick, we can do them all at the same time. I mean, these are really diddy little brushes. I have to say they are diddy brushes. I probably think the orange is slightly better, so it's not too stark. You can either tease the colour up or mix it in the middle. But little effort, so it's I think they're all finished on that one. So I'll put those to one side. So that was with Cad Red. The green is Sap Green, French Ultramarine. Then I've got Cad Yellow and Elysian Crimson, and then Cad Yellow and these are Cad Red and Cad Yellow, which are quite nice. But then the pinky ones on here are Elysian Crimson, and it completely changes that yellow. So it depends what colours you like and what colours go together. So and then these were, I did use the burnt umber, and they've got French Ultramarine and Elysian Crimson in those. So there's 3 colours on that one. So I think that's why some of them work, because there are just 3 colours. So when I only had the Caran d'Ache, the little book of colours, I took the little set of crayons, which were like this. And I say, I think that's 25, 26 years ago, something like that. And all of them have got a little hole in the top. And that's where the paintbrush was just touching, because I used to hold them in my hand. I think there was a couple of other colours as well. And the way I used to work is I'd hold them in my hand and I'd decide what I want, and we can find them in here because a lot of them are in here. So there's a green and red and brown, just green, red and brown. I've been playing with my colour, so bear with me a second. I'll try not to break. I will try not to break everything. Just sorry, I'm going to have a moment again. I can't seem to get green. How strange. Sorry, monster alert. Put that back on. You can't do a colour without the right colour. And that's bright green. That does not look bright green. So something's not quite right. Well, that's fine, but why on earth? That looks perfectly all right, but that's bright green. But these colours look the right colour. So what do those colours look like then? Those colours are about right. Oh, I don't know what's happened to it. They're bright green. They're purple. See, they look okay. They're purple and red and pale purple. Oh, it's just the blue then. Okay then. And I used to write red, blue and purple. Red, blue and purple is a nice one as well. I'm going to take that off. Oopsie. I'll put it back on. I'll put it back on. I normally take the white balance off, but I popped it back on. So that one looks okay. Does it look okay now? It is a purpley blue, that. It's a French ultramarine. The dog is going to drive me insane. She did this before and it was like being eaten alive. I'm very cross that this is a different colour. It's the best I can do. So what I used to do is draw the colour, take the brush. In about 2 seconds I may just have to throw some dog biscuits, and I used to kind of just make a puddle, and after so many minutes of doing this you end up with a puddle in the bottom, so you've got some nice colour in there. And then I used to just fill the colours in, and I did this for hours on the train all across Europe. Sad girl. And then I'd think, well, I quite like the brown, so we'd have the brown, and eventually a little hole would appear, and so I would have a puddle of colour. And the near coloured twos obviously were the brightest things we'd ever seen 20 odd years ago, really, apart from markers. These are pale colour. These are very pale colour. Oh gosh, they're complete. That's bright red. That's pinky red, is that, to the yellow. Oh, the colour's definitely out, bless. Hi, beloved ghost. Welcome to Bunny's Designs. Anybody else I've missed? Sorry. It's feeding time at the zoo. Yes, I know. Yeah, I'll just pop that there for a second. I'll just have to very quickly. Oh, yes, we know it's feeding time at the zoo. I'm not going to be eating this. I'll be back in a second. Yes, I know. Just bear with me 2 seconds. It doesn't help. It's just a minute. Just a minute. Just a minute. Sorry about this. I'm home alone, so I'll be eaten by Alsatians. You are naughty. Don't you dare jump. Thank you. You want to jump? That's it. That's it. Sorry about that. She's got dry biscuits. She can eat those or she cannot. Oh dear goodness. Now they're going to fight over dry biscuits. Oh dear goodness gracious. Why is it the minute you press record? Bless them. It's So I wanted some of my original colours in the Caran d'Ache. So I had like a turquoise, a pinky red, and a green. Oops, sorry, I'm miles away. And quite like those. So these are ready to go into my little book of colours that we're making. And I've made a boo-boo with that. And remember, in those days, I only had 6 colours. So I'd have the purple and the red. I used to use these 3 colours, I've remembered now. And these colours. I'm going to mix them up, aren't I? Never mind. I know what they are. They're ready to go in the little book of Neocolor 2s. And I've really messed up because I've got to do a giveaway. And it will have to be next Tuesday for the little book of watercolours. Because I've got 144 new subscribers. So by the time I get to finish this book, we'll have twice as many than I had on my 100. And of course that's not fair, because obviously everybody's got a less chance. So it won't be finished. So the person that wins it will have to wait for it. But I think we need to do it next Tuesday. And if we do it between 2 and 3 my time, 3 and 4 my time, I think that's about 9 and 10 American time. So is everybody okay with that? So about now, what time is it now in the US, in central of the US, if anybody's in the middle? Because it's 4:30 where I am, so 4:30 would be perfect on Tuesday. And then the person will have to wait until I filled it, if that's all right. Did that make sense? Was everybody okay with that? Did that make sense? Because in the next few weeks, I mean, it's wonderful, but I'll have double these subscribers. Does that make sense? And then I'll have to do another one. I'm probably going to do the sheets and make the sheets so somebody wins part of it. So it's 8 o'clock Pacific time. Is it 9 o'clock Central and it's 10:30? So is everybody okay with 4:30 London time, which would be 10 minutes ago? Yes, it's in between 9 and 11. Do you think that's the best time? Because I don't want to announce it on YouTube or anyway, because then everybody kind of jumps in, and I don't think that's fair. It's a very strange one we try. I don't know how everybody else does it, but it's a strange one. But I think on Twitter we're all kind of, it's a small group. We're all on Twitter. Does that make sense? So do you think that would be okay to put it on Twitter, or do you think that's... So that's my idea. And then that means that, but unfortunately, because the book takes a little while to do, the person who actually wins it may have to wait a little bit. So is everybody happy with that? And then on YouTube, I will make a YouTube video on Tuesday and run that for a week. So that people on YouTube can have a chance, because I think I've got 127 on Ustream and 144. And I'm so excited that everybody wants to listen to me waffling. So thanks ever so much for joining me, because I always think I've got the most boring voice on the planet. So I like these 3 colours, so I'm going to pick these 3. And it's such a good job I don't have the full set of Caran d'Ache, because I would be playing about forever. So this one should be quite easy. So I've got a wire. been moving the camera around. Right, so somebody will have to remind me about that because I've got a memory like a sieve. So on Tuesday at 4:30, my normal stream, there will be, and I'll have to copy Dee Dee and some of the ladies I've seen. So these are so vibrant, you can just, and that will be the 1 to 100 and not going over, and hurting cats. I'll be hurting cats next Tuesday. For weeks I kept thinking, why does anyone want to hurt cats? Duh. Never. So I really like, and again they're really vibrant when you put them next to these. They're quite vibrant. So everybody's fine. I hope you've got that knee up LP. And the iced peas on the ankle. So I've got the yellow there. So I'll keep crossing over, and I'm just going to drive everybody crackers. And again, there's so much colour on here now that I will be carrying on the way around. So I'm going to put again, because this is, I would have been better using them in my little book of watercolours, wouldn't I? But this is where you don't have any control. You've got the full colour here. This is why I like to put them in my little book, because there is no control over this. I have got the full intense colour of the Caran d'Ache colour 2s. But in my little book I'd have about 10 to 20 colours of this, shades of this purple. And because I've drawn it with the Indian ink, it's not gonna bleed through. The black's gonna sit there as long as I don't go over the line. That should be quite nice. And again, lovely flat colour, like a felt pen, but of course I can't really use felt pens. And even a small tin of these is a lot less. It's a lot less than a full pack of pencils and felt pens. And so wash that out, and then I've got my little water pot here. Not much in it. This will not stay the same, obviously. I don't know why I'm holding this as well. So once you've got that colour on here now, that's going to be activated even when you're not kind of touching it. And if you want to practice, you can just see what it is. I'm not going to use that one, I'm going to use this one because I like this one. Sometimes it takes a little while to get them. But eventually that will be pure colour, that. Isn't it funny that dogs and even the cats, they all appear when it's feeding time, they know. know you should be here and you should be feeding me. And you're playing with colour. This is quite nice. This is a real nice way of working. It's just kind of, again, not many things to open and shut, just drop colour into. That looks horrible colours. They're not really that colour. It's a bit strange, is that? I'll do that one. And then we'll have teal. It's a very pale blue, aqua blue probably. That doesn't come across as aqua blue. It's probably a teal colour. And again, this is a lot wetter than I'm used to. And it would be quite nice to colour in this way, but you couldn't do that on a normal one. You couldn't do that on a normal page because it wouldn't like it. So I've got like a little puddle of colour in the bottom of there, so that's quite nice. And you can have it variegated if you like, but when I do these I like the solid colours. Oops, I went over the line a little bit there. Probably a good idea to turn it round so you've got an actual curve. I've just got a little bit of a twist on the end of this paintbrush, and so it has a tendency to just drag at the wrong moment. Has anybody got any questions? I just thought I'd then I'll use the teal back. Again, you just have to keep dropping back for some nice colour. But again, they're so vibrant. The pigment in these are fab. And the colours look completely different than they do on there. They do, but never mind. I shall have to play with that. Never thought of that, actually. So I hope Emma's voice comes back soon. There's some nasty, of course, we're coming into winter, so we've got some nasty things about here in the UK. just play with these colours, because I think if you used a limited palette on, it makes you just be that little bit more creative. So there's lots of different ways you can do this. And you see, that's the one that I've been travelling with. This is so old, this crayon. So old. But these little wells are perfect. And you can use this with one of those little travel brushes as well. This is perfect for that. I do like this teal colour with I like this teal colour with a dark blue, like a sorry, bark alert, somebody's going past. But I've started in purple now, so I've got to kind of carry on in purple. Well, if she was so hungry, she would eat her biscuits, but I don't think anybody's eaten the dry biscuits. They're spoilt in our house. We have they have a tin of cat food made into a gravy, so the cats get half a tin each and biscuits, and then they get a quarter of the tin, whatever's left, made into a gravy, which is, oh, she's eating the biscuits, or somebody is. And that means that the dog food is complete mix, dried complete mix for old dogs. Because it has less protein in it, so they don't jump about like idiots. Unless you're a lurcher. If you're a lurcher, you lurch. I'm quite enjoying myself. These colours are a lot nicer in reality. They are a lot nice. Oh, I should have done that yellow. Never mind. Somebody's having a bit of a crunch. Oh, those teal, don't I? So if anybody's got anything, any questions, pop them in caps. I'm afraid this is like watching paint dry. Especially when the colours are way out. They are way out. There's a deep purple and a teal. It is quite therapeutic doing this. do like these counters. I haven't played with them like this for ages though, because I have them in my little book, so they tend to get watered down a bit and you forget really just how vibrant they are. But again, you've got to remember that is pure, all that is pure colour. Trouble now. He's bored, that's what's wrong, the little puppy's bored. Normally there's somebody home to play with him and there isn't. So. And I've just got that horrible little twist on the end of this brush. It's driving me insane, but I didn't think it would last forever. So I'll finish this one and then I'll do some cards with the watercolour book and then you can see the difference. Oh look, I've nearly got a little palette in there now. Just a tiny bit in there. You'd have to have a watercolour colouring in book with proper watercolour paper to use this. It would be extremely wet and ruin your crinkled pages to work like this. Just finish those with the paintbrush is driving me potty. Sorry, I've gone quiet, haven't I? Concentrating. Does anybody else play with these? Have they all got these Caran d'Ache Neocolor tools? But I think they're about £80–90 for the full set, aren't they? They're not cheap. But the colours will last you forever. I really like the full set, but I think I've got to the age where I've decided I don't need them. But that would be good to have 100 colours in the little book. So I quite like those colours. They look completely different. I can't tell you how different they are. There's like what we call a normal purple, and a teal, and a very warm. Which one is it? It says it's an orange, but it isn't an orange. It's a pale. It's a creamy yellowy orange. So they look completely different. But again, you couldn't really tell that one was in watercolours. Mind you, I've done them very differently. I'll pick these colours and I'll do these in watercolours, in Caran d'Ache. So we want the warm yellow, we want the blue, we want a green that is in crimson, which actually is here, French ultramarine, a cadmium yellow, and the only one I want is a green, and I haven't got a... oh, I've got... I think that's like a sap green. It's not called sap. It's not called sap green, is it? No. But there's that green, and then there's that green. And there's that. That's definitely not sap green. And is that alizarin crimson? Yes, I think it is actually. So I use those colours. So let's put this one there and play with these, and then we can see what happens. See if we can get the same vibrant colours. That's not too small. That's not too small, that one. Is everybody okay with that? Can you see that looks blue and it's black? So I don't know what I've done. Oh my goodness. So we need two brushes, and put that one there. So we'll wet this, and then we're going to drop. I should have made these wetter first, shouldn't I? That's silly. We'll drop the pink in first. And that is a bit too pink, I have to say, but never mind. The yellow's the right colour, but it's a cadmium red and it's got like a yellow film on it. That's a little bit better. Oops, I've splashed on there now. That's a little bit too red, that one. And I saw somebody do this and I had a panic attack, but it's okay for here. So I need another brush. Oopsie. Fingers and thumbs today, aren't I? Drop some colour into here. Oops, got a wire. Sorry about that. So again, you know, the others are panned colours and these are near colour 2s, but the colour's holding up very well. Probably a little bit too much water on that one, I think, because it's bled out from there, but the colour's not too far out actually. They're not too far out because that's definitely called a cadmium yellow. That's near colour to golden yellow, which is a cadmium yellow. And that's scarlet. So probably I put a little bit too much. Oh, I've used the wrong side of the... How interesting. I've used the wrong side. There we go then. That's the first mistake I've made. Let's have a look. I think I've drawn all of them on the wrong side, have I? No, that one should be right. How silly. Making lots of mistakes today. Is everybody okay with that? So, I need fresh water. I wondered what I'd done wrong. So, we'll start again. So, we want... This water isn't particularly clean now, but how strange. I've drawn on an odd one on the wrong side. And then we can drop the yellow in. And drop the red in. Doesn't seem to be doing the same. It seems to have actually been soaking in. So that's a bit strange. It's definitely soaking in. It's not sitting on top. That's a little bit strange. It's the same water. That's very strange. It's the same water, but that one's kind of blurring out more. But this is better pigment. This is better pigment. So I actually don't like these. Which is not nice to say, is it? But just see what we can do with this. It's just continuing to soak through. And you can play with it a bit, but no, I don't like that. The colours are almost the same. The colours are almost the same, but the watercolours are so much easier to use than the Caran d'Ache. And it's difficult for me to hold all these now. But, so that's interesting. That's interesting. Not as good. Hi Dorothy, welcome to Bunny's Designs. Yes Dorothy, I'm still here. You know what they say about Ken Dodd, when you get him on you can't get him on. I'm the same. Oh dear, 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 dear me. Poor Emma's got, she's lost her voice, so I volunteered because I was having a spot of bother earlier. I was making these art cards a couple of days ago, and then I came to make some and I couldn't remember how I made them, and I thought I was losing my marbles. And I tried them with the Caran d'Ache near colour 2s and they didn't work, and I wondered why they didn't work. So I've just tried them, and even though I've got exact same colour, I've got a cad red and a alizarin crimson, or scarlet. So scarlet's not too far away from that. So the colours are very, very similar. But the Neocolour 2s seem to be soaking really, really, really well into and bleeding through. So I wasn't very impressed with that, unless I'm using too much water. But I didn't think I was. But hey ho. So I think I'm going to go back when I do the art cards to these. But I will give the others a go. So I'll just pop these Neocolour 2s away. And I'll get another art card out. And I've been scribbling. Sorry, I've been scribbling on half a dozen other ones. So I do like the proper watercolours. I like the colours. And they're not too big as well, so they're quite nice to do when you've finished playing with big colours and things. So these should be nice, the peerless. Sorry, not the, yes, the peerless. There's a lovely teal colour there, so we'll have a little bit of that. And I should really change this water because it's got rather grotty. So the peerless, you have to work with a damp brush as well. So again, you don't need very much here, just a touch. These are extremely vibrant. And well worth the money, I have to say. I haven't played with these for a long time, actually. Couldn't do these in the Bible journal, though, because they would go straight through. Although they didn't when I did the test, but I'm not going to risk it. But this is the sky blue. And a tiny, tiny, tiny tot goes a long way. You can get some nice variegated edges as well. Well, that behaved itself quite well. I hope you don't mean my babies, my monsters who are in disgrace. It sounded like I was being eaten by Alsatians earlier. She doesn't mean to, pigs, that she doesn't mean to. She's such a loving dog, she'd never bite you. She catches you a couple of times because she's got really sharp teeth. But she's mortified if she does anything, absolutely mortified. So I'm then going for a yellow here. And I'm going to have to do something with the colours because you can't see these most beautiful colours. And this is a sky blue, it's a teal colour. These are like the ink tens, they are so vibrant. And these, in fact, these are more vibrant than the ink tens, I think. problem with the peerless is by the time you've bought them, I wanted the inks because they come in little bottles, but by the time I'd paid for them, oh, Dorothy, wow. Oh, I haven't seen that. I haven't got that. She just got back. She said when she got on the doormat, there was an art journaling, the copy of art journaling. I haven't seen that. And it says the first thing she opened was the Bible, painting your own Bible. Yes, I bought the. I'm going to be working in. I bought one to do, and I panicked a bit, so I bought this. Create my own Bible, and this page. I've done a video about it of how I coloured it in with Derwent watercolour pencils, but the test page in my Bible was with all the colours in my little book of colours. So what did I do with the teal colour? I had teal and yellow. And purple. So we now need a purple. So anybody got the peerless watercolours? They are awesome. They are wonderful. Now I'm going to go with that one, I think. Oh no, I'm going to go with this one. It's what we would call French ultramarine, I think. I've touched it too much and I've got too much and it's so dark. It's not normally that dark. If I carry on, you'll see it's a French ultramarine. You only touch the tiniest amount to get the most amazing colours. And I'm going to put the purple in the middle. Again, it looks like really dark blue, but it isn't. It's like a French ultramarine. But they are so vibrant, these. They blow the socks off everything else. Those colours do not do it justice. So we can and I've had these a few years. You see it's gone purple now because I just did a touch. Having to turn it round because the it's just easy. I think there's a shadow on there that just moves that up very slightly. I've got cadmium red all over my hand now. I keep thinking I've touched a bit that's worn and it's still got lots of colour in it. Really are extremely vibrant, these. So I'll go back in here and I'll go back to the teal colour, this is the sky blue. And I think this is the one. Because these are only practice ones, I'm just messing about. I'll do the purple. And the other one I use for here is a blue, but I don't have got the blue. It's more of a mauvey purple, because I don't like that yellow. I suppose I better keep on with that yellow, hadn't I? Oh, my husband's home, so there will be some barks going on, so just bear with me. I used Brilliant Yellow, I think. And again, just one touch. All I'm doing is just literally one touch. And the colours are so vibrant. So if you bear with me a second. So that's quite nice. And again, the colours aren't perfect. But they're very vibrant. Extremely vibrant, the colours. And, oops, touched the wrong yellow. But the peelers, I think they're about £14. They're not very expensive for the full sets. $33 for one set, and I think it was about £50. But what kills it for us is the shipping. That's what kills it. But I have to say, I absolutely love them. I really want the inks, and I want the inks, but I can't justify the postage. And feeding, darling. Thank you.
Oh, because there's some biscuits out.
Yes, I've put some out because piggles are going to eat me alive.
Okay.
If you can just push the daughter down, that'd be wonderful. Thank you. Again, I love playing with this little book because I just flick around and get to the purples. And it's this blue, which is deep blue, and it looks like French ultramarine. Nigel, you just shut the door, darling, please. Thank you. Didn't realise that kettle's terrible. So I do like that yellow and purple together. That's quite nice. So we know what Dorothy will be doing for the next few days. Painting. And I like the yellow and the teal together as well. So, but I have used these colours before. On my original colour scheme. There's the purple, the blue and the red. The red, the purpley blue and the yellow. And then purples and yellow. And then there's a red and a yellow there with a green. And that's the teal, that's the colour, look. So we've got a turquoisey, a purple and a yellow. And so I've actually managed to do that 30 years later. Come up with the same colours 30 years later. There we go then. So my art's stuck in a time warp, isn't it? And that's the red and the yellow and the green. So how strange we play with the same colours. I think it's 25 years ago. Maybe a bit more. Oh no, I tell a lie. It isn't 25 years ago. Because my daughter's 26. My eldest. And no, we didn't drag her around. No, we didn't take her around. No, I tell a lie. No. She's about 5. So it's 21 years ago. Oh, not too far out then. Oh, that's good. I thought I was losing my marbles. That's nice to know. I am about right with time then. That's most unusual for me. It's the fibro fog kicking in. The fibro fog kicking in. So I'll do that colour. And then I'll go back to the yellow. I hope I'm in frame. I'm still in frame, am I? Oh, Dorothy, where do you do your workshops? And can I get a train to it? I have a free train pass, so I can go anywhere in the country for nothing. She's pretty yummy. Pretty yummy. And I can get about now. I can book assistance and just go. Isn't that good? Somebody was saying that I want to do the Selby art therapy and colouring in, and they said, oh well, there was a class at the town hall, but because of funding it is closed, so people now who really need somewhere to go don't have anywhere, so that's rather pants. But it was, we were just worried about the aesthetics of having lots of people in one space. Wouldn't probably work, so I quite like that. Maybe the lemon could be a little bit warmer, but you know, these are the fab. I'll just zoom out a bit, and then we can see the I'll put that over there. You can see the tray. So these are gorgeous peelers, and I've just cut them. And they should be new because I had them out the other day. Oh, it's feeding time at the zoo. And I just took the squares in, but you wouldn't think these colours, and you can see where I've used them. They've been in here about 3 or 4 years. So the most beautiful, vibrant colours. The brilliant yellow, I was touching it just here. I think they're a dye. I don't think they're a dye. And I bought the full set, so I've got the sepia colours. And they were created in 1890, I think it was, for photographers to hand paint black and white photographs. That's basically what they are. I love those. But they have little ink bottles, which of course will be just so full of colour. But I can't justify the postage. The shipping cost is too much. Otherwise, I would be having a set of those as well. I would be having a set of those, I have to say. Because there's a tight Yorkshire lass. They would last quite well. Okay, well, I will call it a day because I've done some art cards. I've had a bit of a play, and I've found some marbles, so I'm quite a happy girl. So thanks for watching, and I'll stop